Hello, hello, hello. A very warm welcome to all our friends, viewers, stakeholders, fans of Africa Rise with Susan West. Susan West, that is my name for crying out loud. It's a beautiful Sunday here in London, and I do hope that wherever you're joining us from, that you've had a fantastic day. So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our friends and family here on Africa Rise. So, today we're going to be joined by a royal from Nigeria. And we're going to be talking, of course. He's popularly known as Elder Taiye Ayorinde. He's the Baale of Eko, sorry, Eko, Tedo. Right. Forgive me. Too many things in the head. Anyway, as you join this broadcast, do the needful, which is share, share, share. Invite your friends. Send in your questions and comments as you may have them. Be part of this conversation. And of course, the topic of discussion today is about the intrigues, that is the politics of Nigeria. So many things going on. For many of us Nigerians, even in the diaspora, we understand the complicated situation we find ourselves. So without taking too much of your time, remember to like, follow, and subscribe to all our channels. It is Africa Rise TV on YouTube, Africa Rise TV on Facebook, and Africa_Rise.tv on Instagram. So I'm just going to invite the Baale of Ekotedo. All right.
That's it. Yes, you pronounce it right.
Ekrole, sir. Ekrole.
Ekrole.
Welcome to Africa Rise, and thank you for honoring our invitation. So we're just going to go really quickly. There's just too many things that you do. I'm not able to give a full introduction of who you are. There are many people who know you. There are a few more people who don't know very much about you. If you want to do us the honor to just give us a few more information about you, sir. Thank you.
Well, I'm Elder Dr. Taiye Ayorinde. I schooled in England, both in Nigeria and in England. And I also read business management at Northwestern Polytechnic in England, in London. I was at Newton Mayers in Scotland, where I read about broadcasting. I am the Baale of Ekotedo, that is to say, something like a duke, but I install chiefs. I'm not a chief. Apart from that, I had been in television as the manager programs NTA, Nigerian Television Authority, as the first chairman of Nigerian Drama Festival. I worked as the coordinator for Festac 77 for the media. And afterwards, I was also chairman subcommittee for non-aligned countries on information and broadcasting. I'm now a member of the Traditional Council of Ibadan Northwest Local Government. If I have to go on and on and on, you will spend time on my CV, but it doesn't matter now. Let's go on to the program.
Absolutely. Thank you so Thank you so very much for that introduction. And of course, you are well versed in the history and the politics and all that is Nigeria. And that's the reason why we're so excited to have you today. And the topic for today is the intrigue, that is the politics of Nigeria. Why did we coin that topic? It's because there's so much drama that keeps unfolding in Nigeria. Lately, there has been a viral video going on about a video made about Al Mustafa talking about certain external forces that want to see us continue to fight amongst ourselves, why they cut away with our resources. And of course, recently we also had the Attorney General of Nigeria, Malami, his people invading Justice Mary Odili's home. And these are the things that on a daily basis, unheard of, on unprecedented stories and situations like never before. So really quickly, we just want to go into what you remember, what's your experience growing up in Nigeria as a Nigerian, as a young star, and the way things used to be and how it is now. We can start from that angle.
Oh, by the way, did you say Madam is also on the phone?
No, no, I mentioned that his people, or he gave the order for Justice Mary Odili's home to be invaded.
I think that was a big mistake because Mary Odili is an honest judge. Mary Odili is known for uprightness. Because the husband is being tried or is suspected or is supposed to be, or I'm sorry, the way things are going on, in the long run, you hear that everything, they freed the man. But nonetheless, uh, the media, the media hype of trying people through the media is wrong. But nonetheless, I think it's a misnomer, it's a mistake, it's a miscarriage of justice to have involved Mary Odili in all this nonsense.
Right. So, to my first question is try to bring us up to speed, the younger generation, as to the Nigeria that you knew, the Nigeria that you were born into, the Nigeria that you grew up in, and the Nigeria that gave you the sort of education that you have, as opposed to what we have now.
Well, the Nigeria that I knew and I grew up into uh, was a Nigeria where, before I knew Nigeria, I knew Western Nigeria. I knew Western Nigeria where Chief Awolowo was the premier. I grew up with that. I grew up with the fact that Nigeria was a pleasant place to be, was I said. Nigeria that I grew up with, free education, and as a civil servant, you can be transferred from one end to the other, from Ibadan to Ilori in the north, and nobody cares a hoot what religion you are or what ethnic group you come from. The civil service practice then was very, very strict and perfect. But unfortunately, things have gone to the winds. Uh, Honesty has gone to the dogs. Transparency is in the gutter. And believe you me, things have changed drastically. I grew up to know Western Nigeria, the Yoruba race, I put it, as a progressive race. I grew up to know that if you want to travel from Nigeria to London, before you even leave Nigeria, your file is already at Great Portland Street in London, where we had our embassy. The Yorubas, the Western region had embassy. I grew up to know that those who haven't got money for education will get it free. Apart from anything else, I got about 2 scholarships to train in England, one from British government and one from Nigerian government. It's not who you know that makes you to be educated. You have, once you pass your exam properly, then you have the possibility of being slated for scholarship. I grew up to know Nigeria through Western region where agriculture was the main bane. The first university, the first broadcasting house, even before Netherlands or Switzerland had television, we had it in Nigeria at that time. The first of the best was there then. But now it's a pity. Like I said before, the tripod that we had the tripod called Nigeria, the Western Nigeria, the Northern Nigeria, the Eastern Nigeria. The legs, one leg out of that tripod is broken off. And if that is the case, that the leg of the tripod is off, then there's no more tripod. As it is now, Nigeria is bleeding because of the way the manager of the Nigerian project is gone with it. Uh, Let me tell you, if I have to go on and on, I don't know how many minutes we've got. But
Right. I just
nonetheless, there was freedom of speech more than we had it now. It was as a media practitioner, as an elder in the profession. It was print and be damned. But now I believe it is enough is enough. The situation is not worth emulating by any other country in the world.
right. So if I could ask you to be more explicit on which of the legs of the tripod that is broken, because some of us don't understand when we're a bit lost when you say one of the legs is broken. If there is a tripod, who makes up that tripod of the leg that the tripod that makes up Nigeria, and which of those legs is broken?
Well, when you are in a studio and you put your camera on a tripod and you mistakenly knock one of the legs off, then you don't have a camera. Then the camera is going down. It won't record properly. It won't do what it has to do unless you fix the legs properly. Right now, it appears the northern part of Nigeria is subjugating the rest of the south. If there is subjugation, if there is repression, then others feel bad about it. Then they'll be thinking of either recession, which I don't back the recession. You don't need to, because of that recessionist attitude. No. But like Winston Churchill said, it is better to judge than to war. There's also the need for restructuring. If it is restructuring, then okay. But they've not been able to agree to restructuring. It's only of recent that some northerners are joining the voice for recession. But all along, they were talking about utilization of the false majority claim that they think that they have, which the British government mistakenly gave them. The British government had to be blamed for all these inequalities going on in Nigeria. But nonetheless, reasonability can be utilized as a tool to make people sit down at the desk and the chair and talk. Because there are other people not talking of restructuring of the warped, false, corrupt constitution. The constitution which says we Nigerians. How many people? When was the referendum? Where was it? Where did people sit down? Or the conference that sat down to put down the 1999 constitution? It is false. It is unfortunate. But nonetheless, you see, there has to be a reform of a sort. The main thing, apart from recession, apart from reconstruction of the constitution, there are other people that are going to seek for self-determination. That is to say, if the begging for Georgia becomes impossible, then they want to go for self-determination. But self-determination again, which is another major aspect, it can infuriate these people that are subjugating, who want to continue to subjugate and repress the South.
Right. So when you mentioned that, the reason why one of the legs of the tripod felt that it's their birthright is a mistake by the British. Do you really think it's a mistake or a calculated a calculated arrangement? Because at some point we were supposed to be subservient to the British, and now we found freedom. Do you think that it was always this thing they thought they told us about in school, about the divide and rule, where you favor one against the other, therefore the peace can never be found? If you would let me, I'll quickly play a video that is trending about that Al Mustafa gave a speech at an event, and this video is trending. I want to play that video really quickly so that it will be able to give you a little more of an idea of what I might be referring to.
Building up
there
machineries that was to work in containing crisis for Nigeria. We were privileged working with him since Army headquarters to know that since 1972, Nigeria was 12 years old as an independent state. With the discovery of oil and with the performance of General Gawan then as head of state, some certain forces came together and said, it will be disheartening to see us serve this same former colony of ours as now subordinates. That was why at that material time, a new program came up on how to dwarf Nigeria. And I challenge the academia, I challenge patriots, I challenge leaders to go and search for that document and look at the arrangements of dividing Nigeria, creating crisis in Nigeria, creating differences between Muslims and Christians, creating differences between northerners and southerners, creating differences in Nigeria that will dwarf us. And where such things refuse to work, for causes of insurgency should be invested upon and be promoted, so that Nigeria should remain dwarfed and never to grow. The fear is, allow this country to be. We will all be there as subordinates working for them. And no black man should be seen, particularly West Africa and Nigeria, as a subject should be allowed to grow. It's a challenge to the academia, a challenge to the younger ones, a challenge to all patriots and all leaders, old and young, to understand that there is a game that will never allow us to grow. We will be fighting ourselves while they are busy taking what we have. These are some of the things General Abacha went against. General Abacha went against, and he became an enemy to that group outside and to their cronies in Nigeria. Some of them are highly respected elder statesmen. To me, I have seen all what persecution is all about. There is no fear. If you like, carry gun tomorrow and chase me out. But remember, you did it 15 years ago while I was in incarceration. Today I'm free like you. You throw a stone, we throw a medal.
Right. So I hope you were able to hear that.
Just a wee bit of it I heard.
Right. So
I heard about oil. I heard about one or two things, but nonetheless, because of this, can you imagine a state which is near being a desert, being in control of the proceeds of oil? The situation is that Niger Delta, which produces majority of the oil, is an eyesore to see as a place. This is the cause of quest to get out of Nigeria. A place, how can you imagine a place where the tax the tax that is being produced, which is from the southern part of Nigeria, is being used to feed the rest of the north. These are the things that I heard about this, what the gentleman said faintly, but I can also refer you to Ojukwu as an example of a failed secession attempt. But the purpose for which Ojukwu wanted to secede has not left the ground. It has not left the ground. Take, for instance, the country is being asked to permit the herders to be roaming around with their cows. Obviously, if I say that I want to be exporting pigs to the north, it will be something else. If you want to take pigs, pork, you want to be exporting it to the northerners, they say it's sacrilegious. Whereas it's the same thing that you will take cows to be eating up the farm, which is livelihood of human beings in the south. What kind of life is that? At the time, they wanted Ruga. Why Ruga? What is the business of federal government in cow herding? It's an individual project. It's the same like being a carpenter or a mechanic. If you own cows, make sure you take care of your cows in your barn or in your compound. Don't make it a national issue. Anybody who wants to be rearing cows should make a available space for them, but not the business of federal government.
Right.
It's an individual, and you find out that most of the people that are at the top in the north are the owners of these cows. Apart from that, you cannot, it is out of order for the government of this country called Nigeria to force anybody to give up his land for these cow herders. No, it is against the rule of law. Not only that, for those that are Christians, it is against the Bible. There is a repercussion in Bible for anybody who uses his cow to go and mess up his land or his farm in the Bible. Now, I have asked you and the whole world, what is the business of federal government in cow herding? Why?
Right. Okay.
The other point is wanting to take over the land that belongs to people of ages, their heirlooms for these cow herders. No. These are these are areas that could cause problems. Right. If you kill a cow, you are in trouble, in real trouble. Right. And if the cow herders kill a man, most of the people that these cow herders have been killing, you cannot hear them being jailed. You cannot hear them being killed. You cannot hear them being charged for murder. Mm-hmm. But you dare not kill a cow. How come? If the cow herder reports you, or if he kills you by AK-47, well, he will roam around the bush and nobody does anything.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, sir. So I want to quickly acknowledge some people and take a few comments. So Rahina Bello, greetings. Inema Jack, greetings. She says, Inema says, Nigeria is now a doom. Nothing works. And Ijele Eko Ikeri Ike Diani Pounds, it says, the tripod was initiated by Awolowo, Zik, and Bello's philosophy, which you every old politicians believed and now seeing these consequences. They did not see the integral parts to make a great nation and still live with the outdated ideology that brought much wider practice of tribalism. They failed because they regulated rule of law. They did not oppose quota system. They did not abolish state of region. No research. How can we how can we not separate religion from states that resulted to the situation where era of technology revolution and we are stagnant with our resources because our intellectual properties have been consumed by their faith in respective religions. So I
The
want to
present government,
ask,
the present government knows nothing about, doesn't want to hear anything about intellectual property. No. What does intellectual property mean to them? They believe that the whole country belongs to to their parents, to their forefathers. No, it does not. I tell you one thing: devolution of power, primary and secondary education, agriculture has nothing to do with the federal government, especially 1963 Constitution. Or like now, I'm sorry, you see, when people like Awolowo, God, God intentionally created those people you mentioned, Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello, Shagari, all of those. They came, they saw, they conquered, winning with the wiki. But unfortunately, the, 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 the soldiers came and messed everything up. That coup that started it all shouldn't have started. Should have allowed the government at that age to make their mistakes and correct it. What is the purpose of business of soldiers in governance? Some of them are still the people that are running the country. You see some of them, they become governor. From governor, they go back to the Senate, and they're running the government as if we're in the military era. I'm sorry, the situation is so bad. Some of the present governors have become dictators. After two attempts to contest primary Buhari, he said at one time that if he was not elected, the whole country will be ungovernable. Now the country has become ungovernable because he made a mistake. People make a mistake. The reappointment of Boss Mustafa and Abba Kyari is like rolling over the people that have led us into this gorge of doubt, gorge of continuity and Bismarck performance. These are the people. What they're doing is revolving the people. There are so many. Well, he made promises of cleaning out corruption, but in the government now, do you want to tell me that there's no corruption? There is
the
galore.
most the most ludicrous stories, the most outrageous things have been heard and said about this government, especially a government that has no shame, that when monies are missing, they come out openly to tell a civilized people and society that snakes and vultures and all sorts of creatures have swallowed monies. That is where we find ourselves unfortunate. So I want to ask, sir, where Nigeria is at today, is it a point of no return with the, of course, outcry of the Igbos, the Biafrans wanting, to a great extent, a large majority of them want to secede. The others want a situation where there is some kind of reform or constitutional amendment to allow them the same opportunities that the Yorubas and the Hausas have in Nigeria. And of course, There are some of them who think that it's already gone. The water has passed the bridge, so to speak. And in your opinion, do you think that before 2023, that anything can be done to salvage this present state of Nigeria?
What you are asking me now is to put my neck in the noose. As for 2023, I'm not a soothsayer, but I also know that many wrongs have to be put right before we run into 2023 election. In my place, we have a proverb. I would translate it literally. If you want to go to the river and the river is rough for you to get drinking water, you have to wait till it settles. Nigeria needs to wait to settle all these wrongs, to right the wrongs that are making this country to be retrogressing now. There's a lot of nonsense, acidic laws, actions that have been brought in that's making people to be afraid of 2023. I tell you what, education is retrogressing. Education is retrogressing. Unlike what we had before when I was growing up. Apart from we have technology, you have computer and the lot. Yes. But majority of the people are not quite alive to what is going on. In my days when we were growing up, we have mobile TV to pronounce what goes on in the government. We have mobile information kits, mobile library. Apart from the fact that even in the villages, they know what is going on. Unlike now, even though everybody has, most people have a handset. But not most people can operate their handset apart from using it to call. Evening, are you there? Yes, I'm there. John, where are you? I'm here. Let's meet. Okay. Apart from that, most people don't know how to operate it and to get the loaded information in that handset. Most people are still backward. Unlike before, when I was growing up, most people were enlightened. Let me be frank with you. When we were talking about the tripod, yeah, this broken tripod has brought a lot of joblessness, which is now the cancer to be cured very fast. Without it, there will be more robberies, more kidnapping, more ransom to be paid, more Yahoo practitioners, and avenues for criminality. Education and information must not be taken lightly.
Sir,
pardon?
I have one more question for you, but before I take that question, I'm going to take a short read. Charles Oduneye says, I am amazed that we still have elder statesmen like you, sir, who tell the truth to power. And he goes ahead to say, likes of Tinubu, who pose a significant setback ideas by the continuation of the Buhari seek one out, seek one in. I wonder what your take is on the ambition to take over. And of course, Sinovia Ridley, welcome, my sister. Greetings. So what do you say to what Charles Oduneye has said? Because we have seen the videos of, Tinubu, they're in subtle ways, bringing it up, as the person who is going to, and of course, we can already see the consequences of having people who have to take care of their health first before they have enough energy to take care of state business. So what will be your reaction to what Charles Odune has asked?
Well, you mentioned Tinubu. Tinubu is an individual who has a mission. Tinubu is an individual who has a mission and vision to personify whatever ambition he has. Must anybody blame him for that? Well, it is for people to accept whatever he wants to do or not. Again, another thing which has cropped up from the person you mentioned, Tinubu, is the health issue. In both himself and Buhari have been jockeying for health repair in Europe instead of building first-class hospitals that can cater for most things here. Enough of money that is being wasted on some projects that are not viable or abandoned projects, and yet nothing is done to those people, and retrieval of money paid has been made difficult. Transparency has gone with the wind.
Oh, the network. I was about to ask my final question and he's frozen. I do hope that it's just...
Well,
okay.
Accountability is gone. Yes. Before, I'm the chairman of Yoruba World, and I know what the Yoruba people want. It is rather unfortunate that Nigeria has been made to have a bad name. Do you know where the word Niger comes in? Niger happens to be the surname of Simeon, one of those God used when he was to separate Paul and Barnabas for the mission. That's how Niger came in. And all the colonialists were looking for where he was buried. They got to Niger, they thought that was the place, until they got to Nigeria. The people managing the Nigerian project, people that can emulate Niger, the person that God loves, and yet there are so many churches and mosques in Nigeria. And yet, at the same time, you have enormous corruption, enormous, unthinkable, acidic actions that make God to close his eyes and ears until you people can change. He says, if my people that are called by my name should change and be honest with themselves and plead unto him, he will heal their land. The land in Nigeria is bleeding. It's not been. It needs to be healed. It needs to be healed.
And finally,
yeah.
my question is going to be a question that I asked earlier, but I don't think you heard me clearly. I want to ask again, going back to Al Mustafa's video, I want to ask, do you agree that there are external forces that want to keep Nigeria subjugated by making sure that we continue to fight amongst ourselves whilst they cut away with our resources? And if that is true, what do we need to do as a family to bring together everyone to understanding the game that is being played, and that until we get to the point of understanding that the reason why we fight amongst ourselves is not because we hate each other, but because someone somewhere outside of this family is fanning the flames.
The British government has been a dishonest government when it comes to the affairs of Nigeria. The British government happens to be that kind of intruder, I won't say self-centered, but a government that wants to see the betterment of his people through what they can get from here. And when we are disunited, they gain from it. They are better off when we are disunited. The 1914 amalgamation thing was fraudulent. Very, very nicely fraudulent. And they knew that. It was for the purpose of being able to get whatever they want from the imbroglios that is abounding per second in Nigeria. They're gaining by it. They will gain when you fight yourselves by bringing in weapons. They will gain by exporting your gold, your diamond, and your every other product that you have when you are fighting each other. Like now, we know that there are some countries in the world that are bringing in helicopters to carry away gold that is mined in Zamfara. And there is gold also in Oyo State. Of recent, they found out that there is oil in Oyo State. Some years back, I introduced refinery to be in Oyo State, but the then governor said there was no money for it. But nonetheless, now we find oil. Al-Mustafa was right at that point, because he knew he was in government with Abba to know what goes on. There are some people in other countries, well, I had been mentioning Britain, but nonetheless, apart from Britain, the mafiosos in Italy will go anywhere. The Brazilian, the South American mafias will go anywhere to do anything to destabilize. Okay, but is it their fault? No. We need to come together. We need to have one voice. We need to respect each other, not to bring in ethnicity that is made to be the cankerworm now, that is eating everybody up. We don't need to introduce religion and want to make the country to be Islamic country. No. Before, when I was growing up, in my family we have Muslims, we have Christians, we have traditional religionists. I was born blind, and the person who opened my eyes didn't go to any hospital or surgery. I was a man who knew the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Yeah. At the same time, he was very vast in Quran, including the Hadith. Now, the last of him is that he talks to leaves and leaves talk to him. It's 3 in 1. For me, religion must be brought into the life and management of the Nigerian program. It is a shame that this has been allowed and is being perpetrated very fast. It is bad. It must stop. If it doesn't stop, it will cause a lot of hoo-ha. It will cause a lot of imbroglio. It will cause a lot of bloodshed, which we don't need. Even though we are many, we don't need to kill ourselves over nothing. This is my point of view.
Right. I know I said that was my final question, but now this is the final question. What would you final, yes, sir. So because of how much we've seen now. So for some of us, we were born as Christians. We were never allowed to question anything as Christians, as Christian children growing up. But now we're adults and we begin to see things. Of course, now we understand many more things that where some of the things we cannot even really articulate. But I want to ask if you'll be able to say on this hand the advantages of foreign religion to African culture, and on the other hand, if we were allowed to maintain our cultures, our religion, our belief system, where we could be developmentally, where would that have taken us as a people?
It is a shame that we had to allow foreign religion, but we had no choice because there was gone put at the back of our head to accept. But for people like me, I know that the foreign religion, I'm a pastor, but I don't believe that because you are a pastor, you must not take pains to understand the religion. It's very important for us to know that our own culture, history, and tradition must be followed, held properly, like a fresh egg in the hands of an adult. Put a fresh egg in the hand of a child, that's a problem. If he sleeps on a granite, that is what is happening. We have mistakenly taken foreign culture over our own. I want to use this opportunity to praise the present governor of Oyo State. I'm not a member of his party. I'm not a member of any political party. But what he had done for this COVID-19 thing was to involve the University of Ibadan, people like me and other religious people, traditional members of the traditional council, to look for the alternative solution to COVID-19 instead of these foreign drugs, whatever. That is an example of where we've got enormous people, enormous, many educated, many scientists. Look at the best surgeon.
It's frozen. Oh my word.
In America, the best. And now, apart from that, you can see some of our children now developing, making their own robots and things like that. But we must not subjugate our own culture, history, and tradition and religion for foreign ones. That's an aspect where I think you have brought in a good question. It shouldn't happen. But it has happened, we must correct it.
We must correct it, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Bale. Thank you. Ekushesa.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Right. Thank you for your time. I know that if we had to have a live interview, it would have been a lot more better than the delays that we have experienced. But however, I just want to say a very big thank you for honoring our invitation. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right. Okay. My friends, viewers, fans of Africa Rise with Susan West, it's been a brilliant discussion, especially for Nigerians who were able to join. So if you're catching up with us late, don't fail to drop your comments and your thoughts. as to what the conversation is about today. And I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I know that we've had a bit of difficulty in the delays, but it didn't take away much from the discussion of today, which is politics, the intrigues that make up the politics of Nigeria. So much has gone wrong. A lot it needs to be corrected, and we cannot begin to correct those things until we are informed, until we know. So now we know that all the problems that face Nigeria is not from within, but mostly from without. But for how long are we going to keep blaming the external forces that want to keep us, see us, fight amongst ourselves and tear ourselves apart? It is high time we come together as a people, understanding the dynamics of the politics of the world, and that it is upon our stupidity if we continue to fight and kill, maim ourselves for the benefit of others who have no interest whatsoever to any one of us. So until next weekend, I do hope that we'll be able to come live with another interesting guest talking about the very salient issues that concerns us Africans as a whole on the continent and in the diaspora. Thank you, Sinovia. Thank you, everybody who was able to join us. Remember to share, and of course, like, follow, subscribe to all our channels. It is Africa Rise TV on YouTube, Africa Rise TV on Facebook, and Africa_Rise.tv. Until next weekend, goodbye. I love you and God bless you. Bye-bye.